was a cold, dark night in the small town of Salem. The streets were quiet, and the only sounds that could be heard were the distant howls of the wind and the occasional creaking of an old wooden sign. As I walked down the cobblestone road, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. It was as if I was being watched. I turned a corner and saw a small, abandoned house at the end of the street. It looked like it hadn't been inhabited in years, but something drew me to it. I walked up to the door and tried to push it open, but it was locked. Suddenly, I heard a voice whisper in my ear. "Go away," it said. "This house is cursed." I turned around, but there was no one there. I tried the door again, and this time it opened with a loud creak. I stepped inside and immediately felt a chill run down my spine. The air was thick and musty, and the walls were covered in cobwebs. As I explored the house, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I heard footsteps upstairs and whispers in the shadows. But every time I went to investigate, there was no one there. As the night wore on, the house grew colder and darker. Strange symbols appeared on the walls, and the air was filled with a foul, rotten smell. It was as if the house was alive, and it was angry. I tried to leave, but the door was now stuck. I was trapped inside, and I knew that I was in danger. The voices grew louder, and the symbols on the walls began to glow. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of me. It was a woman, but her face was twisted in a grotesque, inhuman form. Her eyes glowed red, and her hair floated as if in a wind that wasn't there. She pointed a bony finger at me and spoke in a voice that was both terrifying and seductive. "Leave now," she said, "or be trapped forever." I tried to run, but the house had become a maze. Every turn led me deeper into its grasp, and I knew that I was running out of time. The woman appeared at every turn, her voice taunting me and her eyes burning into my soul. As the night wore on, I felt myself slipping away. The house was draining my energy, and the woman's voice was driving me mad. I knew that I had to escape, but I didn't know how. And then, suddenly, everything went quiet. The symbols on the walls disappeared, and the woman vanished. I found myself outside the house, the sun just beginning to rise. I turned around to look at the house, but it was gone. All that remained was an empty lot. Years later, I returned to Salem to try to find the house again. But no one had ever heard of it, and there was no record of it ever existing. It was as if the house had never been there at all, but I knew the truth. The house was real, and the curse was still out there waiting for its next victim. And I knew that I would never be able to forget the horrors I had experienced that night.